Hey, good morning, folks. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrosa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. Couple of storm systems. I'll show you on the satellite picture. This first one coming toward us is a large storm. We're on the warm side of it, so we're going to have just about all rain. Lower Michigan, we'll call it almost all rain, especially the southern, 3/4 of the state, western part of the UP, a little bit of snow in it. And because this first storm system is so, big and moisture laden and active around the middle part of the country, the second storm system, which is actually a two-part storm system on the weekend, is going to kind of be a little disjointed and probably what I'm saying, not what we would call a snowstorm in Michigan in January. By the way, you like this? Hey, if we got temperatures in the 40s and 50s, why not? We are definitely going to the tropical shore, at least for a couple of days. It will not last long. Good morning, sunny Sterling Heights and Larry. And Carl, good morning to you too. So here's the radar. It is dry right now. And then, like I said, just, stare at the satellite picture of this large storm. By the way, our first tornado watch of the year issued, not for Michigan, but to the south. You can see that curl of the storm center down in Oklahoma pushing toward the northeast and the brighter clouds. And we could have some thunderstorms out of this overnight tonight. You'll see that right now on the radar forecast. So this is the model that we like for this kind of situation. Once things get into the short term, we use this high resolution rapid refresh model. This is 1 o'clock this afternoon. So you got some great travel today. Mild temperatures. If you're trying to escape Michigan, today's definitely a day to do it. This is 4 o'clock, 5 and 6 o'clock. So basically, very late afternoon toward dark, we'll see the rain, pure rain, not freezing rain developing. Jackson, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, southwest corner, Muskegon, Grand Haven, Saugatuck. In the early evening hours, that spreads northward, and this is by late evening. This is 9 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. And note midnight, that's solid rain for Saginaw and the Thumb and Flint and Ann Arbor, Detroit, Lansing. And where you see the reds, those could be thunderstorms. You see only snow, you see far western part of the UP. We go through the night tonight, still showery, and toward morning, 5 or 6 in the morning, it starts to taper down. Still showery though, and this is a quote-unquote cold front coming through on Friday behind the storm system. And there you can see Friday afternoon, a little bit of snow swings through Manistee, Traverse City, Gaylord, far northeast, but not the southern 2/3 of Michigan, not for Grand Rapids and not for Saginaw or Bay City or Flint southward. And then the next storm system, we'll cover that one next. So this is by Saturday morning. And note that it's showing up as more snow. That's kind of been the trend. So here's the total precipitation forecast. And this is why I'm calling this a heavy winter rain. Because as you could see, tonight and tomorrow morning, we could have an inch of rain in a streak from the southwest corner, maybe Grand Rapids, through Lansing, through Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, and maybe even down to Ann Arbor and Detroit as well. Hey, good morning, Jim Luke and Deb Locke and Tony Crino. Good morning to you, Janet McClintock and Linwood. Good morning. And then, the lighter amounts are still near a half inch, and then heavier amounts as you go to, the UP and far northwest lower Michigan. All right, so now the second storm system, what I'm calling kind of a disorganized storm system because of this one. And this is very typical that, a storm system, if there's two storm systems, one will become the dominant one. So here is the forecast. Here's our dominant storm tonight with the rain, and it quickly pulls off. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Now remember, yesterday this was showing more precipitation by then. The reason why is because the second southern stream storm, it looks like it's going to shift off to the east quicker and not connect with the cold air, so to speak. So this is Saturday afternoon. It's snow showery. This is Saturday evening. It's spotty snow showery. This is Saturday night. It's kind of a more widespread snow shower that will swing through southeast lower Michigan Sunday morning and then off. And then our next storm system comes in about Tuesday. And it looks like about every couple of days we've got a storm system. Maybe as the colder air starts to come back toward mid-January, January 17th, 18th, 19th, we get a little bit more robust of an Alberta clipper. Okay, so how are we going to look at the snowfall on this? We're going to start off with the Europeans ensemble mode, showing you that this first system brings heavy snow only to the western part of the UP. And everybody's digging this sunshine. Winter sunshine is so nice in Michigan. So here is that second storm system snow. Remember yesterday I was showing you maybe 4 to 6 in the northern half of lower Michigan and 1 to 2 in the southern half. Still I'd call it 1 to 2 in the southern half, but the northern half, that moisture getting robbed a little bit the way it appears now. So it's probably a 2 to 4 inch snow. And again, not what we would call a snowstorm at this time of the year. Now, we can also look at the Europeans' just operational mode, not the ensemble, not the average of 50 runs, and see what it does. And it's, pretty similar. Again, showing a little bit of a couple of inch streak from southwest to northeast. So, again, it's, cold on the roads, but not a significant snowstorm. So what about in the long term? The cold air will be coming back. I think what you better expect, folks, is that when we get into, maybe January 17th to 20th and after, you better expect winter weather. Highs in the 20s. We could have some colder days. We could pop up to 30, 32. But it looks like, last couple of weeks of January, first couple of weeks of February will definitely be, as we would expect, cold and wintry. And what I'm showing you here is the surface temperature anomaly forecast out, and you'll see the building cold air. So there's our warmth right now. And here we go into the weekend. Here we go into early next week, still staying, somewhat above normal, into the 30s to maybe near 40. And about, that's January 16th, 17th. I'm pegging on about 17th, 18th, 19th. We start to dip to colder than normal. Here's January 20th. What would that mean? That would mean we're about 5 to 10 degrees colder than normal. So if your normal high then is, 29, 30 degrees, southern lower, take off 10. Your highs of 20 degrees. It's definitely cold, and this is January 21st and 22nd and 23rd. And you see the Arctic air back to the northwest. It's unclear right now because we're out at the end of where we can see. It's unclear right now if that's going to wholeheartedly drop into our area in early February, but it would tend to do so. It would tend to have an easy time doing that, I would say. Look at today. That's why I got the tropical shirt on. Grand Rapids, 50s. Kalamazoo, well into the 50s. Flirting with 60. Ann Arbor, Flint, Saginaw, upper 40s to near 50. Traverse City in the 40s. Tomorrow, ahead of the storm, you wake up to temperatures in the 50s. And then Saturday, a little bit cooler but not cold. Sunday, remember, is the coldest day in the next week, and it's a high of 29 in a lot of places, so that's not too cold. And so then we go to Monday, temperatures in the 30s. Tuesday, back to maybe 40 degrees and a lot of upper 30s. Wednesday, Thursday, January 15th, starting to get colder, a little up and down in that period as the cold air tries to take over, and then eventually, by the time we get to the following weekend, it appears as though we'll have more cold days than days at freezing. Better just, get ready for it if you're not into the winter mode just yet, because we know that, the coldest air typically easily comes down in the late January and the first week or two of February. Really, about mid-February is when the harshest cold starts to break, because the sunshine gets a lot more power about that time, and we start to have some 33 to 35 degree days some years. See, certainly an Arctic air mass could take over for that time, but we're getting to the heart of the winter, and we're going to be in it for 4 to 6 weeks, it looks like, certainly. At the moment, the one thing I don't see is a big snowstorm, but this pattern can make it. Just all of the components have to come together, and we'll probably have about a 6 or 7 day warning on something like that. There's your MLive morning weather update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. I'll highlight what the storm is actually going to do for the weekend. Take care.